specific teams. And it feels like both Citadel and Swamp Gaming have done just that, as we're
I can't access
soon
my
enough
account.
opening the gates here, and it's going to be on Super Soldier Factory. So a lot of those environmental KOs could come into the mix here as well.
I think I might
also
get the call
rolling
through
out on the
bot
Angela
account,
will mean that they will want to look for those environmental eliminations.
If you don't have access to your phone number, you can restart your wait time and provide a new
something to
fucking
keep
phone
an
number.
eye
That's so
on.
But then there's
stupid.
days.
I gotta wait longer.
But then there's Days, and that was the thing that I think everybody's eyes have been drawn to. The Days Walker is out and about, and I'm still not sure if I'm a Blade believer, but this does kind of feel like a situation where it could get some pretty good value. There's a lot of beefy targets that he can just stick to like glue, and he is making Pauly feel every bit of that 1000-fold Damascus Steel Blade there, and gonna force him away for the time being.
What's your phone number?
Try and contest for the high ground here as Liquid Citadel. They've already burned the regen domain, so one of their best defensive utilities already expended. And SG will claim the high ground as TLC look to claim first cap on the point.
Yeah, Liquid Citadel immediately jumped in as soon as the mission area opened up. They all stacked right onto the mission area. Daze goes down, but will be brought right back. So the BRB will be put out of commission, and so will Forky Dog.
Yeah, it's going to be no res.
Ooh, they sent you a text message.
TLC, no, it is go time. They're going to go in and take this fight and evict Swamp Gaming from the ground that they have claimed. There's the regen domain forced out from both sides. Liquid Citadel don't even feel like they have to engage all that much. It's easy for Energy. With a nice little tap there, will evict Daze here, and SG forced to take the reset.
Yeah, good picks coming in. So much damage incoming that Swamp Gaming just could not find a way to handle it. Team Liquid Citadel, you can see their composition, right? Front to back. Play with the Vibrant Vitality team up, because there's just too much sustain for Swamp Gaming to handle, and Team Liquid Citadel also having access to the Cyclops means that they have a ton of damage to deal with, and Energy just goes in with the Ruby Rage, but only going to split the Swamp Gaming C for a little bit.
CYA now going to come up from Forky Dog, but Daze is not going to be there to make anything out of that damage. They'll be able to take down Pauly, and no BRB is going to be coming up from inside of TLC, so Swamp Gaming do at least even the score for the time being, but they need to get themselves on the board.
I remember a lot of people were saying that Team Liquid Citadel earlier today is not going to be the best team in NA. Bro, Team Liquid Citadel is looking pretty fucking dominant, chat.
Is going to return the favor, pops a cap directly into Vest, will get slept and woken up, and
did he actually get people off the map? Only one.
They'll take down Schmiedery, and this should be Swamp Gaming finding the flip.
Wait, did he just get a no-reg?
Denies the Soul Resurgence, but being used. Cooper even
also, chat, crazy, bro. I was supposed to be able to log into my account because I waited like 3 days.
There was a world
and because I didn't know my Apple password to my cell phone. I can't access my cell phone. And now today, it told me the same shit again. Now I have to fucking wait another 24 hours so they can reset another 4 days of wait time. Bro, Apple sucks. Apple sucks, bro. Oh my god. Android would never.
Feels the pressure and is going to force it out early, so all Daze has to do
Yo, what's up, Cozy?
Bide his time and pop it, and once it's gone, there's not a whole lot of utility left. Pauly trying to make something happen. Feast of the Abyss, but Daze simply takes to the sky with a Kraken impact. Doesn't find the debuff onto any members of TLC, so won't be finding the resets. Is going to have to rely on raw damage.
All because my motherboard fried, and I don't know my... I don't even know how that happens.
For Krasmang, and without a front line, SG don't have the tools needed to hold.
Portal play has to come in here. Final Fight territory is inbound. As Team Liquid Citadel, they do have the Ruby Rage. So Swamp Gaming, if they do go for the Portal play, or at the very least even touch for overtime, Krasmang just dives right on in to at the very least trigger it. So they still hold on to the Portal. So there is a chance that Swamp Gaming have one more fight.
Ruby Rage going to come out from Energy, just trying to eviscerate Swamp Gaming before they can get anything going. They will eviscerate the CYA. The amplifier from Forky Dog didn't amplify a whole lot in retrospect. Pauly again diving in, taking down Valentina, and Scatter Genji will be brought right
Why are you ignoring Cozy?
One-winged Angel has fallen once more, and Krasmang will be the next
Oh,
to do
happy
so.
fourth, happy fourth, happy fourth. Yeah, man, listen, I was dead tired, so between EMEA and NA, I had to take a nap. Emily took over. Bro,
I mean, Swamp Gaming just could not find a way to break
can you
through
tell
Team Liquid Citadel. Every time Team Liquid Citadel
Nettie used to stop starting at 7 a.m. and letting me only have 5 hours of sleep?
Sustain, right? That's what, with the
also, this is the first time I've ever seen Swamp Gaming ever have these stats, chat. Bro, Team Liquid Citadel, which makes a lot of sense because I don't know if you guys remember when I played in the Boger Bash. Bro, Cooper is so smart when it it comes to this game, and he's probably wait, yo, why are we running 4 supports, 2 tanks?
Environmental KOs with the Apex Predator did deny Speedery from the Soul Resurgence, but he's going to have to find more of those coming into Frozen Airfield. No more environmental KO in play, so it's all up to Melophobia if he's able to, at the very least,
also, I do like how Team Liquid Citadel, I don't know why Swamp Gaming did this. They banned the Elsa first. I mean, not Elsa. They banned the Gambit, which makes sense, but like, you gave them Mantis.
Where that Bucky pick could pay off, especially with the Loki on the other side. You get all the free resets. You just have to strike pay dirt. And we just haven't seen Daze come online as the ban phase is still haunting him with all of his hero pool taken off the chopping block, forced to adapt. And Swamp Gaming will now seek to adapt to the threat in front of them. There's going to be a Strangling Prison that comes out as Cooper duplicates the Soul Resurgence. TLC want to keep their foot firmly on the gas, but a CYA coming out now from Valentina will give SG a little bit of breathing room, but there's the second Soul Resurgence and the Glartrox. Melophobia bring the threat to him, but unfortunately, that is not where you wanted it to be, as Energy's going to take down Krasmang, and once again, TLC fire the first shot.
Yeah, Vess is also one of the best tanks, I think, in NA.
They want to try to get both the Kraken Impact and the Strangling Prison online at the same time, but they just can't get it done.
Yeah, the whole team of Team Liquid Citadel is like just insanely good, obviously. And then Swamp Gaming is really good, but Swamp Gaming, even if they lose this, chat, I wouldn't be too surprised because Swamp Gaming has shown weakness in
and we'll see coming into this next engagement because
King of the Hill
still has that invisible boundary
or domination, but
TLC, like, they even have that buffer.
So if Team Liquid Citadel goes up around, I wouldn't be surprised if you know, Swamp Gaming takes it back the next few maps.
Comes out and Forky Dog is just pops, caught the brunt of that, and no CYA this time around. Beast of the Abyss is forced out from Polly, and it's gonna get caught with a Carbon Crush. Potentially a save coming out from Scatter, but no, it's just not enough. Vess, Speedery, the whole gang getting in there.
Wow.
And SG again will be felled as TLC still holds strong.
Fox said that Team Liquid Citadel looked terrible on the new patch.
Ruby Rage and Polly's Feast of the Abyss. Polly was just there to try to stall out Swamp Gaming.
Maybe that was a coping mechanism.
Attention onto him at Swamp Gaming. Adjustments have to be made, and it's going to be Daze switching to the Moon Knight to maybe try to sync up with Krasmang, who's prepping that Strangling Prison, but with Scatter also as well with the Silent Seduction. There will be at least
he
ways
picked
for Swamp
Fly
Gaming
Quest to beat Team Liquid Citadel. Okay, I don't know what Fox is smoking over there in the Swamp Gaming house, but it has to be something that he found at the Shrek's house, bro. Like, he's roaming the swamp, eating anything he finds, dude. I don't know about all that.
TLC, it'll only be Nero, the last one to fall, and a single Loki clone from Cooper. But
also, if Swamp Gaming really wants to wait, if Swamp Gaming wants to win, we have to go back to the Emma POV real quick. I gotta look at something.
So that if Team Liquid Citadel want to break it, they have to look away from Swamp Gaming, and the 40% damage amp is just too much for Team Liquid Citadel, right? It's just not enough. But oh my, Melophobia!
Melophobia with the Ruby Rage in the hand of Khonshu, a 1-2 punch in TLC. Never saw it coming, but now they don't have to worry about it next fight because they're going to have a wealth of ultimates coming into it. 2 strategist ultimates online, so all the sustain they could ever want. Valentina's God of Mischief is going to have the weight of the world that it's going to have to carry. She's been clutch on the Loki so many times before. Let's see if she's got one more in her as TLC look to encroach on this point once again, try and flip it back in their favor. Energy with the Ruby Rage is going to vivisect Swamp Gaming, and both of the Vanguards will fall. No more front line, no more
also, hey, Vess's mom is here. Down on you. How you doing, Vess's mom?
It's going to be not a whole lot of sustain left, I'm afraid, as TLC will again find the flip, and now we're in one fight territory. Krasmang has to make the swap over onto the Dr. Strange to try and go for a portal play. It's going to be in time. He'll be able to get feet on the points for the time being. Has to give up a little bit of that overtime percentage, though. Can't quite get in there comfortably. The walls from Vess making it hard to find a way in. They just have to go in, doing the hokey pokey. Left foot in, left foot out. But as they now come in on the Iron Fist, TLC are going to be shaken all about. A regen domain already forced out. Soul Resurgence as well. Valentina and Krasmang both fall. And Vess with the Strangling Prison will strangle the life out of Swamp Gaming on Hell's Heaven. And TLC decisively take map 1.
Polly has his hands in his eyes. He's just like, okay, we got through map 1. Swamp Gaming definitely put up more of a fight there in that second round.
Damn,
there were some moments where Swamp Gaming, they had the coordination. Using that CYA by Forky Dog to, at the very least, get the burst damage through Nero's invisible boundary meant that they were able to get some site control, but then once they tried to retain it, Liquid Citadel kind of just beat them to a pulp at that point, and now Liquid Citadel up one map. Take Hell's Heaven, and now the question becomes, where does Swamp Gaming take us here for map number 2?
Well, we have got the answer to that question and so much more, as that is only map number 1, and we've got number 2 on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Yeah. I mean, chat, Energy is a great DPS player, right? Except when he's queuing with me for some reason. When he's queuing with me, I remember when I dueled with him and I went on a 12-game loss streak, and he hasn't asked to duo since. But we're not going to talk about that, chat. But when you have a great DPS like Energy and you also give him a Mantis, bro, what are we cooking over here, Swamp Gaming? Also, maybe it's you, chat. It's not my fault, bro. It's definitely not my fault. Between if there was a fan, oh, by the way, Cozy, I don't know if he's still here. If there was a fantasy Marvel Rivals League and you had the option to buy J3 or Energy, chat, really, you're really gonna buy Energy over J3? Come on. J3 first pick all around.
And dangerous.
Like, come on, guys. No, but like, and you pick your poison, chat. This is what's honestly going on in their head. Do you ban the Gambit so Cooper doesn't get it? And if you give Gambit to Cooper, you're also gonna have to ban Loki because that's just too strong, right? Or do you ban the Gambit, take it away from Cooper, but you also give him Mantis? You can't ban both. But if you give them Mantis, then they're going to get triple support and damage boosted and all that stuff. I mean, I'm pretty sure Fox is... Wait, by the way, are you feeling prepped for being the keynote speaker at Bald and Proud this weekend? Wait, what do you mean Bald and Proud, bro? I'm not even why is Cozy throwing shade at me? Wait, hold up. Okay, sorry. They need you to cast with Cozy. Okay, to be honest with you, if I had a cast with Cozy, Cozy would be doing 99% of the talking, and I'd just be there like, yep. Yeah. Wow. Whoa. Sick. Bro. Casting is hard, chat. Casting is really hard. You guys are... If I was on, to be honest with you, if I was casting with Cozy, bro, I would just be making Captain America size jokes, bro. I'd be like, holy shit, that play was as big as the new Captain America skin. You can buy it now in the shop. Massive skin for very low prices. Low prices? Yeah, I think the Captain America skin was like, what, 1,600 credits? That's actually not bad. Go to Overwatch. You could buy that same bundle, same skin for 45 bucks. Hey, Jay, did you sleep good? Well, last night? No, I did not sleep last night. I had a neighbor setting off fireworks, and I couldn't sleep last night, so I was up till 3 a.m., and I woke up at 6. But I did take an hour nap, because Emily took over, Emily, and I am feeling better. Did Team Liquid Citadel walk Swamp Gaming, or was it a good game? It was a 2-0, bro. It was really... I don't think so. True. You don't see your skin in the other game. That's true. I mean, that's the one good thing about having a third-person game, chat. I think, I don't know. Throw a random character out on the top of your head. That's why when you buy, let's say, the new costume for Emma Beach skin, I don't know why that was my first one. You see all the beautiful artwork. Jesus Christ, that's a weapon, bro.
Sorry, soldier.
Bro, I think Captain America might be the first character I have ever seen in video game history get his
tides will rise and fall.
His PP
be the unwavering
reduced.
force that refuses to wash away. Coast undefeated as Loki's Seaside Siren, White Fox's Coastal Kumiho, and Captain America's Seaside Sentinel skins. And I hear that last one comes with its own flotation device, and I don't mean the duck.
No. There may have been a little bit of a nerf this morning, but we'll stray away from that for a little bit, right? You got these skins coming in. Remember, this is only wave 1. We still have more on the way, and we have yet to see what they might be. But for now, what could be map 2 for Swamp Gaming, because they have the map choice here, and historically we have been taken to Holojalia. That has been Swamp Gaming's comfort map, right? Historically, every time Swamp Gaming have picked Holojalia, they have won every single time. 3-0. We'll see if Swamp decide to pull it out here, but they do have other maps in their arsenal as well.
But I do also kind of like the Holojalia shout if that is where they decide to go, because I do think, you know, it does kind of enable the hero pool that they like to play. But the problem, I think, on that previous matchup, though, that previous map, is that they didn't really get to play their game at all. Daze was hard targeted by the pick and ban.
There's no way you missed that. Wait, what happened?
Wolverine
I was
gone. And for the rest of the picks and bans, it doesn't matter. TLC just have no fear for anything else that Swamp Gaming want to play. So the question goes, all right, like, what do you do? How do you adapt to this? It can't just be the map pick. I do think you are going to have to try and get one of those heroes through the ban phase.
She said Cap has his own...
Let's have a look at the hero. All right, and all, I think on that previous matchup, you know, it does kind of... But I do also kind of like the Holiday.
Do have other one every single week in gaming, because they have... For a no. They're mid
with its own flotation. Captain America's Seaside Sentinel skins, and I hear that last one comes with its own flotation device, and I don't mean the duck.
No. There may have been a little bit of number 1 energy. We talked about him being the walking highlight reel, and he just
she's talking about the duck,
the
chat.
social media pages
Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way.
Look at him. Bro's just calm. It's just a normal day, and you're facing up against
no
what
way,
arguably
bro.
is your hardest opponent on paper, and you can see all of Liquid Citadel. They knew what had to be done, making sure that everyone is sustained, everyone is playing that front to back very well. Because quite frankly,
she said
they were
not the
giving
duck.
Over that.
She's talking about the duck, chat,
in its full entirety. So maybe you could criticize Swamp Gaming's ban draft a little bit, because I feel like giving that away might have been an oversight.
It might have been.
Where's
like,
your
I
duck?
do also kind of think
Okay,
I
I'll
agree
show
the
you. Here,
Mantis
let me show
ban
you
probably
something
should
real
have
quick.
come through, you know, again, in that kind of like middle of the pack area. I think they were so bent on getting that one-sided Rocket Raccoon for themselves that they forgot to try and plan for, oh, what are we actually amplifying?
Let me show you
with
guys
this
something real
CYA.
quick.
Like, they played for the Rocket and the Loki, and I do think that's a sound strategy.
This
CYA
is my
a
duck.
phenomenal ult, but
Small,
you gotta pair it with something,
cute,
especially if you're gonna be able to burst through the raw
you know,
staying power of that Vibrant Vitality.
it's adorable,
team-up.
right?
And, you
It's
know,
in your
a
hand.
good thing for that might be Days on the Wolverine, but
I happen to have
how are you
Captain
going to
America's
achieve
duck
that
as
if
well.
TLC are just going to simply ban it away?
Yeah, that's a good shout,
Captain-
right?
Jesus
feel
Christ, it's so
Swamp
heavy.
Gaming
Captain
could have
America's
thought,
duck.
Hey, maybe the CYA
It's
is
just,
enough to break through
doesn't
that
fit in your
front-to-back
hand. You need
composition,
2
and
hands for it, you know.
Yggdrasil pass.
It's just
Very interesting by Swamp Gaming.
Come on, man.
For going Holojajalia
You
for
want
now, and
this
they
duck,
go
not this
towards
duck.
Yggdrasil path. Very interesting.
Come on, man.
For Swamp Gaming, we'll see if that's gonna play a part in terms of what kind of composition they want to go for, and we have yet to see what side they also pick up.
So Yggdrasil is a bit of an oddity. We don't see a whole lot of it. We saw, a couple of Yggdrasil path picks in EMEA earlier today, but it was once a staple of Ignite. You would see it, like 5 times a day, but it's kind of fallen to the wayside as maps like Midtown and Museum of Contemplation have usurped it. But I think Swamp Gaming are anticipating a longer series here, and they're saving those picks for later on down the line, because this one, while not 1-for-1 the same as Midtown, does kind of play itself quite well into that kind of front-to-back play style, and that's where I think having that crutch pick of the Blade could potentially pay off for Days.
I mean, usually when Blade is picked within Ignite, although map 1 may have
you
been
say usually as if it happens ever.
I mean,
usually
the usual 2-3 times we have seen Blade, it was always on Midtown, but I mean, game
usually when a fish rides a bicycle.
Yeah. Whenever that happens, it's usually in certain conditions, but it felt like Swamp Gaming kind of just went out of it off the rip on Hell's Heaven, but usually Midtown is where we see the Blade. I mean, we saw it over in EMEA. Shout out to Tanuki for trying to rock the Blade, but now are officially knocked out from the midseason finals. A little bit unfortunate, but Swamp Gaming. All right, we're pulling a playbook out of Rad's book. We're just gonna first save the Wolverine for Days.
Which I do like, but that does kind of become a Faustian bargain. Sure, you can wish for the Wolverine, but what are you giving up in return? You can't protect the Rocket. The Mantis is going to be banned, so you won't be able to protect that as well. And now TLC, they can just go for a one-sided Mantis should their heart desire it, and in fact, it does, and they will.
I mean, Swamp Gaming now have to take away Vibrant Vitality. You can't give away things like the Loki, the Groot. Ultron, also a very, very good shot. We saw Swamp do it back in map number 1. Take away the Ultron, get rid of that double damage amplification. But now Swamp Gaming, they're like, maybe we done goofed. Maybe we should not have let the Loki through. So they're going to take it away this time.
Yeah, that's a step in the right direction, but again, trying to go for that Wolverine save, I think it's cost them because they're not going to have access
Jay, who did
to
you the
predict?
Rocket, I predicted Team Liquid Citadel winning. Swamp Gaming did ban the Gambit first, so that's very interesting, but Team Liquid Citadel saved the Mantis.
Luna. It really doesn't matter. Swamp probably going to have to use a Protect on something like that. They can't protect the Gambit. They can't protect the Mantis.
I see their problem.
Maybe it's the Loki, but what do you pair
Swamp
the Loki
Gaming
up with?
could save the Mantis potentially, but they're saving the Wolverine, bro. Don't tell me they're like live or die by the Wolverine, chat.
That Energy can play his game.
Because if you save the Wolverine, you're gonna let them ban Gambit and Mantis and Rocket.
And I feel like the Rocket Raccoon ban by Liquid Citadel is kind of like that double whammy, right? You also deny the BRB, you also deny the CYA, but you also deny Wolverine Airlines, right? The super jump pack that's also on the BRB, as Liquid Citadel will get rid of at least one part of the fastball.
Yeah, no, so I do kind of like that because, Swamp Gaming, of course, they're thinking, all right, we have to get Days on a hero that he can frag out with, so we protect the Wolverine, and Team Liquid Citadel,
see, that's what's bad, chat. That's what's bad. If you have a small hero pool, bro, it's only going to be a problem for your team. If you have a small hero pool and you have to save, you have to use your 2 saves. You only have 2 saves. If you have a small hero pool and you have to waste one of your saves to protect one of your players, that's bad. Because then you're going to get rid of a lot of these other great characters, bro.
And they sniped it with a 50 cal.
Also, yes, you want to ban the Hulk because Krasmang is really insane when Days has his Wolverine and they play the fastball special. It is not something that you want to play against.
The Rogue without the Gambit team up. We'll see if that'll actually lock things in. Krasmang still really wants to use the fastball, so not surprised that he's going to go over to the
there you go. They're
going to
play the thing
Days.
now.
Maybe he just throws him out there as like a rollout and then Krasmang switches to something else. Wouldn't be surprised if that's the case as well, but Liquid Citadel not going for that triple setup that we see a lot of defenders do. going for that triple strategist still, but with a little bit more of that extra damage.
Well, I think they're not going to go for that because they know Swamp Gaming has to play that
Okay, let's see
front-to-back.
this.
Krasmang going to use the fastball and then swap over onto the Groot.
Yep.
So, like, you don't
Whoa,
really
they
have to
only
worry about
they only
Daze
used the
getting
fastball
another free
once?
entry into your backline, potentially getting a big kidnap. That would be the threat had, you know, you stuck on the thing. And, of course, Krasmang is not going to stay on the thing. The thing is pretty far down in the tier list these days, pretty much just a fastball merchant. As Energy continues to throw some death down range, taking down Melophobia with another beam shot, and Daze already having the healing factor forced to retreat as TLC.
I'm surprised they don't kill that guy. They have the Invis woman for a pull.
Comes back out to spawn, and we are back at an even footing. And Scatter trying to push the line of scrimmage forward, but TLC refused to budge.
Are there any ultimate
Happy
funnels
4th,
coming
Jay.
in right
Happy
now?
4th.
Valentina
Happy
Eve
4th.
Very, very close to that God of Mischief. But Nero is hot on her tail. Energy is able to find that Cyclops 1v1 win against Melophobia. So Swamp Gaming gonna have to reset for a little bit longer. Maybe that buys time for at least Swamp Gaming to build up some of those ultimates on their end. Liquid Citadel looking to do the same. But both sides committing their invisible boundary. But that's just an easy target for Veswa.
Yeah, it's so telegraphed, right?
Damn.
Like, you go for that God of Mischief on for the invisible boundary, and Vess is just like, all right, bet, you're all going to be playing right here, grouped
chat,
up.
I can't wait for the LAN event when we see Team Liquid Citadel play against Na'Vi. I think that is going to be
you've already bled nearly 2 minutes
crazy.
off the time bank. And let's talk about some of these picks that Energy is getting. There's really nobody on the side of Swamp Gaming that can contest that high ground angle as long as he chooses to stay up there. He's going to be merciful and play low ground, but as he's got the Ruby Rage, he's definitely just looking for an angle. Oh, what a last stand from Daze. Bro came in like an air-to-ground missile. He's going to be able to find two, and he's going to helicopter mode as well in the back line. Swamp Gaming finally seemingly have found something to help them burst on through, but they need to find a couple more KOs. Cooper's going to lay out the dance floor to stop that from happening. Strangling Person coming out now from Krasmang, and Scatter is getting in there, is going to take down Energy. The rage of Energy will be quelled. It will not be Ruby today. It'll be a nice, cool blue, as it's going to be all red in the KO feed, and Swamp Gaming will cruise on through.
Good fight win for Swamp Gaming, which was kickstarted by Daze with a 3-man knockup with the last stand. Was able to pin down 2, and that just starts Swamp Gaming's momentum. However, there's a chance that this momentum might get cut short because of Speedery still holding on to the Soul Resurgence. That's going to allow Liquid Citadel entry their way back in. We'll see how Swamp Gaming
no
decides to
support ults
utilize
from Swamp
Scatter
Gaming, bro.
on the Meteor M. Definitely will try to use it defensively to try to keep the rest of his team
Let's see
alive.
this.
But Melophobia also there with the zoning, with the Ruby Rage, is going to let it rip, but is not going to find the mark.
Meteor M now from Scatter, and he's looking for his mark. He wants to get Speedery, and he's going to try and go for the fake.
Bro, come on, man. I need you to be LeBron James right now.
And it's so oppressive.
We need to be LeBron James. Right now, we're Tony Snell. We gotta upgrade here. Come on, guys. We're like,
traded out in Swamp Gaming. They just don't have
who's that person that they meme on a lot? We're like,
and try and plan for this one last fight.
Angel Reese try to go up for a layup.
Again,
come on, guys.
Coming in from Liquid
There you
Citadel,
go.
biting back against Swamp Gaming. Adjustments need to be made fast. 40 seconds left now. We're going into Final Fight territory. Looking at the ult economy on the side of Swamp Gaming, it's not looking so hot. Forky Dog.
Bro, have you guys seen those people that are, they always bet
coming in.
on if Angel Reese is going to make their first shot? Bro, that's funny.
The dark teleportation comes through from Valentina. It's just not enough to absorb all the damage, and TLC just pressing the advantage and forcing Swamp Gaming one way or another back into that spawn room. The ult's going to be coming online for Swamp Gaming, but only 12 seconds left, and someone has to try and get a touch. Krasmang scurrying around like a rodent on the walls, trying to find an angle to get in for the touch, but he's being peppered away by Energy. He's going to go in for the dive, does touch the trigger OT. Daze is there as well, and they need to try and find something. Invisible Boundary is going to give them a safe harbor with which to try and play in, but they can't seem to find any elims yet, and there's yet another Strangling Prison from Vess, a Ruby Rage from Melophobia to try and cut through the chaff. Gonna be able to help take down Speedery, and that's gonna have to be enough for now. But Cooper wants to lay down another dance floor. A Feast of the Abyss now coming up from Polly. It's damage.
Chat, bro, this is... Listen, I think Swamp Gaming is a great team. Obviously, there are much better players than me. Their coach, very funny. But maybe instead of being on Twitter a little too much, I think we need to... Bro, this is a big difference between the first and second seed of NA. Bro, we might need to. We might need to practice a little bit more. And I'm talking about practice, chat, not a game. Not a game,
opportunity.
practice.
Man's on the very same. Scatter now on the Wolverine. Cannot make anything happen. And TLC will emphatically
Damn,
hold
bro.
first.
How in the world did Poly get so many
if you
eliminations
told
during
me,
that? Yeah, you did have Cooper.
if you told
popping
me
the
what the
Pros,
match
allowing
was
a
for
little-
Team Liquid Citadel
a
against
little
Swamp Gaming, I would
window
say it was a
of
very
damage
close
amplification to let
game.
Poly get some of those
Back and
eliminations,
forth. It was a
but man, he
3-2.
was
Someone
just
won. Team
ripping
Liquid
apart
Citadel
the
won
back line.
3-2.
Just felt like
This
Swamp Gaming had no opportunity to breathe, and now
this has been
because
one-sided.
you have the Wolverine on Swamp, but it's not just working out because Liquid Citadel are handling it so well, right? Marking where this Wolverine is at all times.
I think
sure
you
that
go with the
Vanguard,
traditional
that
saves and
will be
bans.
the
I don't
main
think you save.
focus
Listen,
point
Daze
for Swamp
is a
Gaming,
great
is
player,
perfectly positioned
but
so
we
that
cannot
they're
be
not gonna get
saving
targeted.
Wolverine,
Look
and
at
they're
Jesse's
going.
damage
The
on
other
group.
team.
He's keeping pace with energy on the group.
The other
every
team is
time.
banning
Yeah,
Mantis,
like your Vanguard
Gambit,
lineup, like sure they're gonna have a fair bit
Rocket,
of damage, but they shouldn't be
and Hulk,
outpacing
dude.
your star duelist. Like he's literally only a couple hundred shy of what energy has been putting up, and that's why I'm saying like it feels like every time Swamp Gaming walk up, Vest has another strangling prison, and I mean, SG, they just can't play the game. They're locked down every time. They have to invest a huge strategist utility, whether it's an ultimate, a regen domain, something that they're relying on.
Fix the
to
camera,
try
bro.
and
Fix
win
the
fight.
camera.
Has
I'm
to be
getting tripped.
invested just
This
to
is trippy, bro.
participate in the fight.
And it feels like it all comes down to the Mantis, right? Damage amplification. You have that slight damage advantage over Swamp Gaming, which means that translates into a faster ult cycle. There's a chance that is the biggest reason why Vespa is just able to cycle the Strangling Prison almost every single fight. And now going onto the attacking side, they're going to roll out on the exact same composition. Swamp Gaming looking to do these saves. Scatter onto the Emma Frost to, at the very least, maybe try to just block some of the poke damage coming out of Team Liquid Citadel.
NRG was playing an MRI, but they didn't make it through the stage 1
Yeah, Symbiotic Resilience
teams. They went like 1-4 or something. They got or 1-5. They got disqualified. They didn't make it. It was the top 4 teams in each bracket.
Slow, but he doesn't know the very definition of slow. Goes in, and Cooper will take him down with a light and dark ice. It's traded out for Vest, so TLC at the very least can't put more walls up and press this advantage, but they don't want to slow down just yet. They know they're playing with house money right now, but as Cooper gets felled there by Scatter, they'll have to back off for now.
Solid recovery from Swamp Gaming despite losing Days.
Okay, still winnable, chat. Still winnable. Still full holdable. Anything's possible.
But Nero needs to do.
If Swamp Gaming wins this, I will take back everything I said.
That he needs to, right? Use the force fix to keep Days in check. That's the biggest reason why Days has been so contained. We haven't seen him make all those highlight moments, only except when he pops the last stand at times. But the follow-up just not there in time as Prazmang.
Average gold match, chat. This is not. This is not a gold match.
What a wall from Vest in a strangling prison of his own, locking SG up in the air, and it is literally like shooting clay pigeons. Energy again will get the better of Melophobia. A late invisible boundary now from Forky Dog. Valentina had to invest hers as well, and as they fall, Forky will feel the full force of Energy's Ruby Rage, and it's gonna have to be a TP play coming out from Melophobia if SG want to try and hold, but it's still 2:20 on the clock.
Uh-oh, they have Polly's up. No, this is GG's, chat. Team Liquid Citadel won. Swamp Gaming, first of all, has no ults. Team Liquid Citadel has Cooper's ult almost. And on top of that, they have Polly's. It's GG's.
This fight might be over before it even starts.
There's that Beast of the Abyss, but it's only anti-healing the
Well,
clone.
Polly
There's
didn't
that
really
Fate
hit
of
anything.
Worlds.
Cooper had
wants
popped
to
his
dance his way to
ults,
victory, but Polly is getting caught out, and Daze is going to take him for a ride, and I'm afraid this one is one way, but TLC,
Daze,
meanwhile, on the other
Daze,
side, they are
be the
cruising
hero,
over to
Daze.
victory. Daze has to give up the pursuit of Polly, and he'll live to take down Forky Dog. A last stand goes out. It's the last stand
Did he
for
do any
Swamp
damage?
Gaming's defense, and he tries to dive back in to make the save, but it's just not enough. TLC, they go up 2-0, and they are looking 1, 2, 3 steps ahead of Swamp Gaming.
It looked like Polly was overextending a tiny bit, right? Going in so deep. But it's worth it in the end. There were members of Swamp Gaming that had to draw their attention on to Polly on the Venom. And that line of sight manipulation meant that the rest of Liquid Citadel could just rip apart the rest of Swamp Gaming that aren't looking at Polly.
I think the strat that they're doing right now is not working.
There was a divide between Swamp
Ban
Gaming.
Mantis
None of them
first.
were on the same page.
Give them the Gambit.
From the
Who
inside out.
cares?
Well, the ban phase
Ban the
again
Mantis.
did not favor Swamp Gaming. They're going to have one
And
more
go from
crack
there.
at it potentially as Liquid Citadel are on match point, and we'll have map number 3
Chat.
on the other side of this break.
If they don't ban the Mantis, I swear to God, I'm going to rip out the remaining 2 hairs on top of my head. I'm going to be looking like Homer Simpson. I need them to ban the Mantis. You have a top-tier DPS player like Energy, and you're giving him Mantis. Nah. You and Energy have the exact same hairline? Oh, bro, that's yeah, you know, Energy and I have the same amount of hair. You know, it's, you know, I don't like to brag. Jay, why don't you play comp? Play in comp? Play comp right now? It's watch party day, chat. What percentage boost does damage Mantis provide? I think it's 8% now. They nerfed it from 12 to 8, I believe. But I also think it gives you a speed boost now? Yeah. I don't know what the percentage of the speed boost is, but yeah. There is a little speed boost. When do we see YWL play? Later today, chat. They're the 3rd game of the day, and if they win, they're also the 4th game of the day. Jay, I hit Celestial for the first time this morning. Yo, WW. Oh, wait. I gotta take off this, unpinned message. I mean, why don't you go in pro play? Nah, chat. I would rather... Listen. I would rather sit back, watch these games with you, not worry about anything, eat popcorn if I wanted to, and just talk shit. Like your old man on the couch. Have you guys ever seen your old man on the couch watching basketball or football? And oh, man, I put me in the game, bro. I have better hands. It hits you in the hands, man. Catch it. Oh, I could shoot better than this guy. I'm okay being that guy now. Jay, take your shirt off. I can't focus on the game. Oh, you're fine, bro. Go launch up Marvel Rivals and go look at the new cap skin. I heard they nerfed it, but that's awesome. That's insane. That's awesome though. Also, I'm pissed off right now, chat. Bro. I don't know. My phone motherboard got fried. So I took it to Apple. I didn't know my Apple password, so they're like, okay, whatever. We'll reset your phone and fix it. So they fixed my phone. But now it's a new phone. Like, they erased everything off of it. And now I'm trying to sign back into my phone, but I don't know my Apple password. But to get into my Apple, they apparently need to send me a text message. But I can't go into my Apple because I don't have my phone. So they're sending me text messages, and I can't fucking get into my Apple account. Oh my god, dude. It's so stupid. And now I waited 4 days for it to reset my password, and it tried to send me a text message, and I said, I don't have my phone. And that's like, oh, okay. Give us 24 hours. And I put Emily's phone in there. And like, give us 24 hours and put a new phone in there so we can reset your password. And then we'll update you in 24 hours. So in 24 hours, they'll tell me that I have to wait another 5 days. Bro, I swear to God, I hate Apple. I don't know why I don't know my password, chat. What do you want from me? What do you want from me, man? I'm old. Technology is just new to me. I don't know how to use technology. Also, you guys are telling me go Samsung. Chat, I was an Android user my whole life until like 3 years ago or 4 years ago. I bought an Apple and I liked it. Oh, Jesus Christ. Jay, when will you do community games like with like Emily? Emily, bro, I don't like anything. I don't like you guys. I hate you guys. No, Emily did community games because I was too tired. I don't know when we'll do it. I do have an Apple Watch, but my Apple Watch is not connected to my phone. Well, it is connected to my phone through Bluetooth, but it's not connected to my carrier, so it's not sending me the password.
Welcome back, rivals. Happy 4th of July once again. We don't even know the definition of a kilometer around these parts, and it seems like
true.
They don't know the definition of losing.
What
In fact,
is
they
a kilometer?
Seem incapable of doing so, as they are on the precipice of sweeping their greatest nemesis 3-0.
I mean, for me, 3 letters come to mind. The first letter is the letter B, but I'm going to stop there as we carry on to map number 3, because Swamp
Wait, I don't
Gaming,
get it.
What is going on? It feels like they haven't woken up just yet. It feels like, from what we've seen throughout the entirety of playoffs from Swamp, this has been like, this is a different Swamp, and I'm not liking the direction that this is going, because right now Swamp really need to lock things in. Especially, I feel like maybe take a look at that ban draft. Maybe you start taking a look at banning the
Wait, I don't get
first, because it's just felt like every time
BTA.
they gave it away, Liquid kind of just
That's funny.
ran them right over.
Oh, well, like you say, Dan, I do kind of agree. I think that Swamp Gaming do need to wake up. But chat, if you are just now waking up, you missed a clinic by Vess on the Groot. 21-2 with 21k damage. And that sounds a lot like Energy's stat line from our previous MVP. And if that does sound familiar,
hey,
it's because
where's
it
Vess's
was,
mom
and
at?
also because
There's
he was
her
keeping
boy.
pace with his
MVP.
duelist on
Well, he
the
needs to fix his
Vanguard,
face cam,
and
though.
every single fight was a strangling
It's like I
prison
took out
that
my
closed
contact
it out,
lenses.
and
Jesus.
all Swamp Gaming could hope to do was react, and I mean, there was a couple of decent reactions, but they were able to stay alive, but they were not able to thrive under the iron rule of Veswa.
I mean, speaking of reactions, Vess also, we think, blocked that strangling prison coming in from Krasmang, and that had to have been like the final nail in the coffin for Swamp. It kind of felt like they were just mental boomed at that point as we look at the stats on Yggdrasil Path. I mean, we see the numbers now, right? Look at the numbers coming in from Veswa.
I can't even sign in on my watch.
And you said it, right? It looks like Energy did all that damage, but Energy was there with 22k, so it's just too much damage coming in onto Swamp Gaming, and they just found no solution to try to combat it.
And that's even in the face of a Wolverine. Like, they gave Daze his greatest tool and said, what else you got? Like, just completely no-selling the Wolverine pick. And, you know, Daze over there with 6 and 4, like, it just kind of feels like he's not getting the job
31
done in
and
the way
1
that we have known and gotten to love some of the highlight performances that he's put on. They're just kind of going unseen today. Like, we're just not seeing that same level of performance. And again, I do think it does circle a little bit back to that ban phase. You know, we're trying to shut down the Vibrant Vitality, but with the Mantis and the Triple Strategist looks and the Groot, like, it just kind of feels like Liquid Citadel look a little bit too strong in this particular composition. And Swamp Gaming have yet to be able to find a way to muscle their way past it.
I mean, now you had a game, right, where Swamp Gaming, you got the Wolverine. You even committed it one-sided. And that was your bread and butter. That has been your win condition time and time again when you're on Swamp. But now Liquid kind of just got the read, right? They got narrow on the Invisible Woman to, at the very least, keep that Wolverine in check. And it's been doing wonders for Liquid Citadel, because Daze quite literally cannot find an angle to get those key feral leaps onto those Vanguards.
I don't know what I'm doing
also,
Monday yet,
it's narrow keeping that Wolverine in check. It's also shout out to the Vanguards of Liquid Citadel, both Vess and Polly doing so well in terms of positioning to make sure that they're not put in those unfavorable positions thanks to the feral leap.
Well, let's leap on over to our next map. And Dan, you were telling me a little bit before the previous map, like you were predicting that Yggdrasil Path map was going to be Hall of the Jalia. You were correct, just not correct in time.
Yeah, I mean, better late than never, I feel like. I mean, to recap what I talked about before we went into Yggdrasil Path, Holodajalia is Swamp's comfort pick. Every time Swamp were in a position to pick a map and they pick Holodajalia, they have gone 3-0. Maybe Liquid Citadel? You're kind of expecting that Swamp Gaming would want to go onto Holodajalia. And for Swamp being the fact that this is their playground, is this the start of a reverse sweep? Is this the start of a comeback of something that we have not seen just yet here in America?
It's gonna have to be. Like, it's gonna have to be a reverse sweep. Otherwise, Swamp Gaming will go down to the lower bracket. Again, both these teams qualified for LAN, so it's not like their lives are on the line, but their ticket to the grand finals of the playoffs here certainly is, and there is a fat stack of cash waiting for them at the other side of that one. So you know both these teams are still going to be giving it their all, while also trying not to. I guess you don't want to overheat, you know, before then, because there's a high chance of a reunion later on down the line. But you still want to assert your dominance early on here. And Swamp Gaming, unfortunately,
the difference between
but if there's a map
Navi and Virtus Pro today, 3-0, we're literally seeing the same thing right now, bro. It's not just going to change up the ban phase. I think it's going to change up the style that Swamp Gaming have played with, because the front to back right now, also,
it just ain't cutting it.
Lewis, it doesn't work.
Swamp Gaming, you tried something to disrupt the front to back, get some extra damage amp with the Rocket Raccoon back in.
Okay, let's see this chat.
Did not work out.
So Swamp Gaming is gonna ban the Gambit.
Disrupt all of Liquid Citadel that way.
They saved the Wolverine.
Swamp Gaming,
Team Liquid Citadel is gonna save the Mantis.
Get the first save onto the Wolverine, and
bro,
maybe
this is
time,
I don't know what something. I don't know what we're doing.
Some
Swamp.
kind of adjustment could have been made as Liquid Citadel. No surprises there. Take away the Rocket Raccoon, deny the super jump and the BRB and the CYA extra damage amp on the side of Swamp, but will get the Mantis, which in return will force Swamp to take away Loki.
I do think, you know, going for that first protect on the Wolverine, like, that's the lifeline. Like, it's do or die when it comes to that particular pick, and having to give up the Rocket Raccoon, I think, hurts so bad, especially when you don't have access to the Gambit or the Rocket. Like, those outside of the Mantis are easily best in slot when it comes to strategists. And speaking of slots, there's going to be that third ban slot this time, bumping it up in the prio. We're seeing the Hulk ban come through again. So again, no fastball special unless you want to bring the thing out of the spawn, and I don't think you want to bring the thing out of the spawn.
Oh, great ban onto the Invisible Woman. That has been the biggest reason why Days just could not find any moments to breathe, right? Not even make any huge clutch moments happen because of that force physics pulling him back. When he does catch someone with the Feral Leap, that force physics will put him right out of it. And with that Invisible Woman banned, Liquid Citadel, I'm sure they've been expecting it. They will find ways to try to make sure that this Wolverine works. And step one will be enabling the Mantis, which will force Team Liquid Citadel to ban away the Loki. So no devastating Vibrant Vitality team up that we saw all the way back in map number 1. So no team will just have the better front to back.
But you still get the Mantis though, like, because the Hulk ban got bumped up in Prio, the Mantis gets through unseen. And you know, what a good shout from Fox to be like, you left this on the table, of course we're gonna use it. Our backs are up against the wall. We're on the verge of falling to the lower bracket here. We're gonna use everything at our disposal, so we'll reach for the biggest gun, and it's going to be that Mantis. Is Swamp Gaming are gonna be first up on the attack on their map pick, their final map pick of the series. It's Holodajalia, and they are gonna be coming out, like you said, with that Mantis in the back pocket should they need it. But of course, Days, he only knows one gear, and that is Wolverine full throttle all the way.
Well, unfortunately, Days won't have access to the Rocket Super Jump because the ban came through onto the Rocket Raccoon by Liquid Citadel.
I'm liking the vibes from Melophobia right now. I'm liking the vibes.
I was about to say, I was like, there's no way he rolls out on that, right? Liquid Citadel,
I would roll out on it. I don't think it's going to save. I don't think anything they could do could save him right now.
We'll go for the Luna Snow White Fox team up to keep the dive from Swamp Gaming in check, whether it be Krasmang on the Venom or Days on the Wolverine. As
Melo's walking out. Melo's walking out with the Mantis damage boost. Okay, no, swapping back over onto the...
Okay.
I like how Swamp Gaming is trolling by walking out on,
see if there was anybody trolling, but unfortunately, you know, TLC,
Black Widow, but they're down 2-0, bro. I feel like you should troll after you win or when you're winning, chat.
Very best game if they want to best TLC, but
I don't think he was trolling though. I think he was probably looking top right to see if anyone was probably there.
That's gonna be a good early kidnap from Days, and Swamp Gaming able to claim this high ground opposite TLC. They can keep this momentum going, but Energy and Cooper will stop that momentum in its tracks. Scatter and Valentina both will be sent to the wayside. Speedery traded out, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to break through this defense.
I mean, Swamp Gaming were running that first fight on a 2-strategist lineup with a Mantis on Valentina Eve. So it was just Luna Snow and the Mantis being the 2 strategists on Swamp Gaming. That's not enough healing to sustain from the sheer amount of damage Liquid Citadel are pumping out. It just felt like Swamp Gaming, their plan was simple. Go fast, get a quick elimination with the amount of damage that you have on your lineup, and try to just run over Liquid Citadel that way. But that falls flat, so Valentina will go back to the Invisible Woman as the portal will be in play.
Relentless attacks coming out from Swamp Gaming. Again, an early portal play. They'll have
Why
access
are they
to another one.
protecting
It's still early enough in the round that
the Wolverine's so hard, bro? Even if they ban Wolverine, does he know how to play like
defenders? And Polly looks to be first on the chopping block again.
Daredevil?
Fate of both worlds invested early on from
bro, you have to change up your strategy. Why are you doing the same thing over and over expecting different results? Isn't that insanity?
Better Fate of both worlds. Another strangling prison coming out from Benson. It's again just a pure evisceration.
Like, come on, bro.
Swamp Gaming, they get locked in
come on,
prison,
bro.
and they just can't seem to break free.
The Swamp just have no response. Every single time that Strangling Prison came out, it always tagged up 2 or 3 members. Like, Vez over here in the Americas is looking like Zeta over on XXL1. Like, these 2 players are just nailing Strangling Prison after Strangling Prison. And it's just devastating all of Swamp Gaming.
I've seen that before. He just wants to play to have fun.
Oh, he's got 2! Is he going to be able to confirm? Mello was there to help take down Nero, and that's going to be a strategist offline for TLC, so they're not going to have an opportunity to try and defend. Ruby Rage from Energy to try and make up for it, but Valentina has got the good healing with the invisible boundary. Polly's got the
Daze knows how to, dude, Daze knows how to play a lot of things. He's not 1-2 trick.
Right now,
he knows how to play the
Mello, though, is the
Ultron. Oh, I mean, Ultron's banned right now, but he knows how to play the Ultron.
Speedery, and Swamp Gaming have finally kicked the door wide open, and they've claimed 2 ticks.
Portal play coming in from Liquid Citadel. You have access of safe passage with the Soul Resurgence from Speedery. He will use it immediately. Melophobia went for the Ruby Rage, but he got exploded himself.
Kraz taking down Speedery. It's 2 big KOs. There's the Kumiho now unleashed from Nero, but he's so far away from the point. He's got to circle back. Polly has managed to take down the backline of Swamp Gaming, though. So all that's left, they don't feel like they have the staying power anymore, and Scatter is going to be wondering where those heals were. You really needed them, but they're just not there. And Daze is going to fly away in helicopter mode back to the rest of his team. 45 seconds left, and Swamp Gaming only have 1 play left to make.
Yeah, Speedery coming in with the Soul Resurgence meant that Swamp Gaming just didn't have a solid response.
Citadel has the Ultron ban. Swamp Gaming could do Ultron.
And
Swamp Gaming could also do Mantis.
Was absolutely huge.
Swamp Gaming
could have had a huge influence in terms of where Liquid Citadel could play from because the line of sight was just too much. Because Melophobia literally
this is kind of embarrassing, chat.
One central point. Speedery is going to get tagged up and speared,
I was looking forward to this game all day, and I thought it was going to be very insane, but
Scatter, keeping the backline safe. You're going to need both of them with their ultimates coming online to be able to brute force your way through TLC's defenses as they are stanced up, ready to accept this attack coming forward from Swamp Gaming. Speedery gets kidnapped there. Melophobia is there with the finishing shot. It's going to be a Fate of Both Worlds coming out, but Mello snipes Energy from downtown, 6 Middle Earths away, and he's able to find it. And now with the last stand coming out from Daze, breaking those claws across TLC, trying to find something through that Fate of Both Worlds. Krazmang with a belly flop is going to flop right on top of Cooper, shutting that last ultimate down.
Wait, they might cap, they might cap.
The abyss, no heals. It's just not enough. And again, yeah, like you say, Dan, there is no heals. And there's going to be nothing left to stop Swamp Gaming from claiming this first
capped it, chat. We are away. The game got extended 2 minutes.
Target down
W.
Strategist.
D-Bert with the massive 100 bits. Fox thinks that Wolf is the best thing. He brags about it all the time. That's why
might see
he was putting
a
Mantis
series
on
here, but Swamp Gaming, the work is not done. The job's far from finished as they have to look for the second checkpoint. Looking at the ultimate economy, Scatter switches over to Doctor Strange. Was very close
that's your problem.
to the Heaven's Retribution.
You think something's working, but it's not. You gotta look at the statistics here, chat. And what I'm looking at right now is that it's not working.
With an early diving strike there. It is forced away for the time being, but now the pinch is set up. A Ruby Rage from Energy is going to find Daze, and that is going to be an early pick that Swamp Gaming, they just can't afford, especially if they were trying to set up that pinch from Krazmang, but It's do or die now, and they are going to.
Wasn't Fox saying that if Wolverine gets banned, which they can let Team Liquid Citadel ban?
Which means Swamp Gaming
Weren't they saying Blade is the next best thing? Play Blade.
Precious time.
I don't agree with it, but I mean they pulled it out yesterday.
They need to find an angle. They need to find a way to, at the very least, draw out Nero's Kumiho Unleash and find a way to intercept Veswa's Strangling Prison.
See. Strangling Prison comes out. Vest just gets burned down.
Yeah, we saw Blade yesterday. I think we saw a little bit of Blade today, actually.
Any Strangling Prison coming out, so Nero with the Kumiho Unleashed trying to keep the pressure going, but Scatter thrives under pressure. It makes diamonds, and the Maelstrom of Madness makes a mess of TLC. As Swamp Gaming win the fight they need to win, but there is still one more, potentially even a stagger fight on this defensive, and only less than a minute left.
Very cheap fight win for Swamp Gaming. Only invested the Feast of the Abyss. They have both Fate of Both Worlds and Invisible Boundary. Scatter could go insanely aggressive with the Eye of Agamotto to at the very least draw out one of those strategist ultimates coming out of Liquid Citadel.
Goes for it. Well, there's that strategist ultimate, free of cost. Didn't even need the Eye of Agamotto. Got frozen.
Oh!
Charm. What a cancel. The freeze that comes out from Nero. The Strangling Prison now from
What a
Vest.
charm, bro. What a charm.
Trying to carry some members of TLC out of their safe haven. And Scatter again comes up clutch, taking down Speedery. It's traded out for Forky, so it's not going to be a whole lot of healing. And Valentina is doing her best to try and stay alive and keep the front line the very same. Scatter again strikes gold, taking down Nero. And a Force Physics is going to pull Polly right back into the frying pan. And Swamp Gaming looking to get this second cap, and there ain't a whole lot left that TLC can do about it. A portal play will come through 1.3 meters away. Energy's gonna take down Krasmeg, but traded out for Speedery. A Ruby Rage from Energy through the portal. Eye of Agamotto, and again Scatter.
Wait, okay, they're showing a little bit of sign, a little bit of life here.
Swamp Gaming over the line, but they need Krasmeg.
I don't think it's enough though.
Scatter
I don't think it's enough.
There's not gonna be a portal to get in there in time. Akumiho now being unleashed from Nero. Melophobia gets low, has to back away, has to get a little bit of healing, but that gives TLC too much breathing room. And with the spawn advantage, you can't let them breathe. You can't let them be any air in their lungs. So Daze looks to take it all out of them with the last stand. He'll find two. Scatter Genji's gonna fall though. Everything that Swamp Gaming are fighting for is being traded out one for another. They need to complete this cap though. Vest comes back on the Angela, taking down Daze.
No, that's it, chat. I think that's a GG's, bro. That's a GG's. Oh, he died at 99% too. Forky Dog has Luna ult. They're teleporting back. They're teleporting back. They're going to get their DPS here in a second. They almost have Invis ult, but I mean, Team Liquid Citadel has their support ults and also a lot more other ults. They're not making it. They're not making it, chat. They're not making it.
Maybe only their demise on the other side of it. Invisible Boundary from Valentina, but one by one, Swamp Gaming, they fall. Another Ruby Rage coming through from Energy. Melophobia tries to mirror it, but Energy with two.
Never mind.
Off the Ricochet Force, and TLC will deny Swamp Gaming that second point.
That was a long and arduous overtime fight. Look at Liquid's coach behind Polly's camera. His hands are on his head. That was insanely tense.
He's like, this shit is easy.
Long and
he's not even worried, bro.
So well, but in the end, Swamp Gaming, they had their final moment with the Invisible Boundary to try to force some sort of comeback, but Liquid Citadel with Energy on the Ruby Rage kind of just exploded Valentina, gives TLC the hold that they need, and now put themselves in a pretty favorable position to give Swamp Gaming a fat donut here.
It's just too much damage, right? Coming out from Energy and the focus fire. Like, look at Melophobia versus Energy right now. Melo is getting the better in the pure damage number, 25k versus only 20k.
Wait, that is actually crazy. Yeah, Melophobia is doing a lot more damage.
It's like everybody from Liquid Citadel.
Melophobia is doing a shit ton more damage than Energy. But Energy was on the Cyclops. But, bro, imagine if Melophobia also had a Mantis that they could potentially save.
Their eyes are on her, and all eyes right now, I think, are on Team Liquid Citadel, as it has been foretold that Human Torch is back in the rotation, and if anybody was going to put it on display here in Americas, it was going to be
it is saved. I mean, it is saved, but no one's playing it.
All those flyers were so meta. Human Torch, Ultron, a little bit of Storm as well last year in 2025, but now coming in looking to utilize it once more.
Someone check on Fox, bro. I don't know. Fox probably drank so much last night he's hungover this morning. Or he's still probably drinking with these decisions. What's going on here, man?
So much of the map with the Pyro Prison.
And Melophobia is the only person who could try to stop it, and Speedery scouted that out, saw Melo was low, and went in for the hot drop, and Melo couldn't do a thing about it. Daze is going to be able to take down Poly, but that's only one elim going the way of Swamp Gaming, as it's been all TLC in the KO feed. One tick coming away, the second as well. There's going to be a portal that comes out, but it's not on the point, and there's a wall blocking them. They have to try and come through the choke now, but Speedery taking down Daze again. They're just walking into this kill box set up by Liquid Citadel, and more damage just being pumped out by Speedery and Swamp Gaming. It doesn't really feel like they're in this fight, Dan.
I mean, the portal has to be used very defensively, or else you're walking.
They have 5.5 minutes for.
And Liquid Citadel, off the back of that, will just secure themselves the first point, and they're
I think it's over,
even
bro.
more pressure with the Flaming Meteor.
Yeah, they're not content to just take the first point. They want to take
You know
the
what,
dub.
chat?
They want to take
I'm
the
gonna
3-0,
do the
and it is
toxic
within
thing.
their sights right now. Poly with a stagger onto Valentina and Daze. Not going to be kept as a pet. Mercifully will be put down and sent back to the rest of his team. And now Swamp Gaming, you're going to have to rely
That's
on
over,
that
bro.
spawn hold to be able to get themselves back into this one. As TLC don't
That's
have a lot
over.
of ultimates, but if we know Vest, he'll have one before long.
Yep. And
It's over, bro.
hopefully
It's
Swamp
over, man.
We'll have Valentina Eve with the Eternal Bond coming in. The last-ditch effort for Swamp Gaming. We may be going into final fight territory if the fight goes as long as that fight we saw over and overtime right before second checkpoint. As Liquid Citadel, they have the combo ready. Strangling Prison, maybe into the Feast of the Abyss to anti-heal all of Swamp Gaming. We'll see if that's able to be executed here.
The front line from Swamp Gaming is so low. Someone heal Scatter. Genji is getting the healing finally.
That was a
As
good
the
hook.
Bond comes
That was
out,
an insane
Melophobia
hook.
Gets caught out by the Feast of the Abyss, swallowed whole in the belly of the beast, and now the
that
Strangling
catches
Prison
everyone.
coming out. It catches on to every single member of Swamp Gaming, and Valentina's doing all she can to try and heal at the front line as Forky Dog got felled in that exchange. But Liquid Citadel can't quite close this one out just yet. Daze is letting the devil out, but he'll be put back in his place by Vess. Again ruling over this map with an iron fist, and now Swamp Gaming on the back foot, on the precipice of
Melophobia is my
extinction
favorite
here.
Bucky.
As the cart inches closer, and Speedery pops the supernova for a spawn hold, and there's nothing Swamp Gaming can do as they're swept to the wayside by Team Liquid Citadel. Send your best, send anybody you like, but don't send anybody you want back.
We expected a full distance best of 5, but we instead got a quick day in the
That
office
was
for
one of
Liquid
the
Citadel.
most
They punched their ticket to the
disappointing
grand finals
games I've
here
ever
in
seen.
Stage 1 Americas. And
Team Liquid
my
Citadel
word, I'm not
BTA
sure if we
Swamp
all
Gaming,
expected this kind
and
of
not
result,
only
'cause
that,
Swamp Gaming,
Navi
it just felt like they were on the back
BTA
foot every
VP.
step of the way. Liquid
Bro,
Citadel were the
two
ones
of the
setting
most
tone,
anticipated
setting the
games I
pace
really wanted to
of
watch
this
for a very
match,
long time
and,
ended up
considering that you had access to the
they
Mantis
ended in a
time
blink
and
of an
time
eye.
again, that tempo just gets